Welcome to TisTalk.
Welcome to TisTalk. This is a podcast coming from Tisbury, Wiltshire and surrounding villages. I'm Julianne Murphy.
And I'm Mary Myers.
It's Monday, the 24th of March. Hello, Julianne.
Hello, Mary. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Greetings from southwest France.
Yeah, but not for much longer. You will be home soon.
Not for much longer, you're right. I'm looking forward to coming back. But meanwhile, what news of Tisbury?
Well, not an enormous amount, but I did see a post from Daisy, isn't it? Pre-Love. Her lovely little post shop is moving down to where Provenance was.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think early April.
Okay, ready for my return. Fantastic.
Ready for your return. So we'll all rush in there. I'm really pleased because I rarely go up that end of right to the top of that hill, and it's hard to park up there, so you don't go in if you're driving past. But I'll certainly go in if she's down here. It's fantastic.
And it's nice that little bit of the high street is sort of populated, isn't it? And
yeah,
Provenance would have been a gap, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it looks horrible now having an empty shop. So
yeah.
To see the shop back in use will be a great thing. So good news all round.
Nice.
So what have we got on the programme this week?
Okay, well, we've got Dr. Lindsey Kinlin back again talking about back pain this time, which is a common complaint, of course. And then Anne Martin has done two lovely pieces for us. One about Chilmark School getting together with the Riverbarn Café and starting a vegetable garden.
Oh, very nice.
And another one about art at Tisbury Station. And then we've got the What's Ons.
Okay, brilliant. So let's dive in, as they say. We start with Mary discussing backache in its many forms with Dr. Kinlin and how it might be treated.
So I'm back at Fovant Surgery with Dr. Lindsey Kinlin. Thank you very much, Lindsey.
It's my pleasure, yeah.
And we're talking again about the common symptoms that many people come to see you about. A lot of people, I understand, come to you with back pain.
Yes, it's one of the commonest presenting symptoms that we might see at a GP surgery. And it's one of the commonest reasons why people have signed off sick as well. So it's really important that as doctors we're able to recognise quickly when someone's got a level of symptoms that might affect them being able to continue working, not least also that back pain can often be a very miserable long-term source of pain. So it's important that we're able to start the management of back pain in a really positive way and encourage the expectation that people will get better from it.
And what can people expect when they come in with back pain?
Would be somebody who's got a flare-up of sciatica. So sciatica is when the nerves in the lumbar spine as they come out are squashed by a problem in the vertebra, and then you get this very miserable shooting pain going down to one of the legs, usually down to the feet if it's the full sciatica picture. And the intensity of that pain can be really quite severe, enough to stop people walking around. And often they are quite desperate for pain relief and reassurance that they will get better. There's a significant, serious back pain problem that is part of every assessment, and that's a condition called cauda equina syndrome. So cauda equina is Latin for horse's tail because the very base of the lumbar spine, the nerves of the spinal cord split out into the fibres of each of the nerves, and it starts to look a bit like a horse's tail, and that's the area that most commonly is affected by cauda equina syndrome. And essentially what's happening is the cavity that the spine sits in is squashed, possibly by a slip disc, for example. The disc slips forwards, squashes the cauda equina, and you're effectively cutting off the oxygen supply to those nerves. Okay. And this is the emergency with back pain. So the symptoms to watch out for that would be, they're called red flag symptoms. So if you have a weakness in both legs, if you were to have sciatica going down both legs, that's a sign that you've got something happening across the whole of the spinal cord rather than just one side of it. If you have a problem with your continence because the nerves of the cauda equina supply the bladder and bowel. So if you can't tell when you need to go for a wee, or if you start dribbling urine without having any awareness that you're doing so, occasionally people can have bowel accidents as a result of cauda equina. And then there's another characteristic symptom, which is you lose sensation in the skin of the saddle area.
What is the saddle area?
So if you were to imagine sitting on a horse,
Okay.
the bits of skin that would touch the saddle, so that area, if you lose sensation in that particular part of your skin, alongside continence problems, weakness in your legs, bilateral sciatica, that's the full house of cauda equina symptoms.
And is that treatable?
Very much. So the key is to recognise it, and then you would go up to the hospital, you would have an MRI scan to be able to look at the soft tissues of the spine, determine whether or not you do have compression of the cauda equina, and then you'd have an operation done typically within 24 hours, or certainly done as soon as possible to prevent long-term damage to the nerves.
What about if it's not cauda equina, as you describe?
Yeah.
What if it's something else? What can people expect? Would they need an X-ray, that kind of thing?
Okay, so the vast majority of people with lower back pain don't get cauda equina syndrome, but we would talk about it with everybody so that you know what the symptoms are, just in case you need to go to the hospital. So there's a very stereotyped set of questions we'll ask every time you present with your back pain, but that's in the expectation that the vast majority of people with lower back pain will have some kind of arthritic or wear and tear situation going on with the lower spine.
Right.
And it's usually just one side of the spine that's affected. So you might get sciatic symptoms just going down one leg, and the actual structure of the vertebra, because it's quite complex, it's often difficult to isolate exactly where your symptoms are coming from. But the essence of treatment would be, if you can loosen the spine up, help the muscles around the spinal column relax, and get back to as normal activities as fast as possible, that will allow your nerves to go back into their normal state, and the spine would adopt a more normal position, and essentially you would just free up the spine to reduce your symptoms.
Well, you'd have thought if you had back pain that you would automatically get an X-ray. Is that not always the case?
Usually people don't have an X-ray.
They don't need one?
It's not a useful test. So the principle being, there's only any point doing a test if you're going to act on the result. So the function of all of the imaging, which would be X-rays, CTs, MRI scans, would be when you've got to a point within your back pain story where somebody's considering doing some surgery on your spine.
Right.
So if the vast majority of people are better within 6 weeks without needing any particularly intensive interventions, and certainly not surgery, then what we tend to do is say, we'll talk about doing imaging such as X-rays, CTs, MRIs if you have symptoms haven't improved at all within the 6 weeks.
Right. Well, that's good to know. 6 weeks.
Yeah. So it's nice to have a time limit to how long to expect your symptoms to last for. It's nice, I think, to have that confidence that you probably will get better.
So what kind of pain relief can people expect when they've got this really
severe pain?
Yes.
So there's a variety of options. We've got 3 or 4 different families of medication we can use, and each one has its pros and cons. So that's part of the discussion with the person with the back pain. So we try and use the one with the least side effects first, and then layer on, and then as your pain gets better, you come off the ones with the most side effects first. So that's called the pain ladder, and it's a very well used approach to pain management. So
yes.
Yeah.
Right. Are there any other solutions to pain relief when it comes to back pain?
So I think often what's forgotten when people talk about their pain management is that you can use non-medication ways to manage it. So, for example, lots of people find having a massage of their lower backs really soothing, or to use heat or cool packs. So often to experiment with which one you find more soothing is really good. And then there's an intervention called a TENS machine, which is often forgotten because it's a non-medication, very powerful way of getting pain relief. And so you can hire TENS machines from the chemists. So if you were getting to the point where you're just sick of taking painkillers and you'd like to try a different way of managing it, it's worth a try. However it works, it's really powerful, and it's a really elegant way of managing, particularly if you've got long-standing back pain that's just difficult to manage with medications.
Well, thank you very much, Lindsey.
And just to remind you that Dr. Lindsey Kinlin does a series of very interesting and accessible and free open sessions, and the next one will be about osteoporosis, firstly at Dinton Village Hall on the 10th of April, and then at Fovant Village Hall on the 30th of April. Both sessions 4 to 5 p.m.
You're listening to TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
Next, Anne Martin reports from the Riverbarn Café in Fonthill, where children from Chilmark School and their head teacher Adam Smith have gathered to start a new vegetable patch. David Wilkins, joint owner of the Riverbarn, is surrounded by enthusiastic children.
There's a barn right there, so that's why it's called Riverbarn. Yay! That's the name of the place.
Then
So-
why is there no sheep there?
Say it again.
Why is there no sheep there?
Why would there be sheep?
Because it's a river barn.
Is that where sheep live, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't know that. In a barn?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, it's a food barn. Yes. Yeah.
That's right. So, there's just the two of us here. So we need some heavy lifting done and we need the garden done. So we talked to some of the people in your school and they said you would come and help us. So are you happy to help?
Yeah.
Yeah? And are you looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Do you want to go down by the river first and have a quick look? Yeah?
Definitely.
Right, come on then, let's go. Follow me.
Do not jump in the river.
Jump in the river down. So, follow me. We're going to walk on you. Walk on you. On the silver.
It feels so weird.
Careful here.
And don't be free.
Oh! No, definitely not. Maybe in the summer when you come here on your own, with Mummy and Daddy, you can jump in. What do you think? Do you like it? And you've been here before? Yeah, give them a good water. I think it's going to rain next week, so they'll have a nice water anyway. What do you think? It's nice and clear, isn't it, the water?
Myra wants to jump in.
Maybe in the summer. Maybe you can visit with Mum and Dad and come in the summer.
We're chilling. Looks like no one litters here.
That's right, yeah, they don't. It's nice and clean, isn't it?
Yeah, that's lucky.
I know, it's very lucky. It's very good not to litter.
Except that piece.
Because the moles go in the ground a lot. Can you see all the mole hills? Where they come through? So we got a lot of them here, which isn't great.
I see litter.
No, because I think they're trying to find food, so they tunnel under and come up.
I see litter behind you, Teddy.
No, that's a rock.
What?
There we are, let's push it in. Get it out of the way.
Right then, so we're at the Riverbarn with our Chilmark School gardening project. How many children here had a chance last week to look at the different seedling potatoes? Put your hands up if you did. Can anyone remember a type of potato they chose? What was the type of potato you chose?
I did the crispy kind of one.
You did a crispy kind of one. That'd be good for the kitchen. What did you do, Ruby?
I think it was called Piper.
Yeah, there's a type called Piper. There's definitely one. What did you go for?
I'm a Piper one.
A Piper. So you got a few Pipers in the mix. We were really excited that the 1990s has been honoured. There's one called a Shannon.
Amazing.
Yeah, you need a Shannon in there, definitely. They've grown enough, they've started enough to grow potatoes at school. Oak class have taken theirs home to see if they can grow better at home. And then we're trying to grow ours here. And what we're really hoping is we'll come back again with other things, because we're going to start courgettes and a few other things that maybe you might be interested in.
Fantastic, yes, definitely.
And all of the vegetables we're growing at school are going into our kitchen.
Amazing.
And the ones you're growing here, what's the plan for the vegetables you're growing here? Are they going into your kitchen?
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, so children, you could come to the restaurant and order some of your own vegetables. That would be good.
Maybe we'll even give you a discount, maybe.
Oh, cheeky discount, that would be lovely.
We'll see.
So What is the first job? Because our first job is what we've just talked about. What do we need to plant?
Potatoes.
Potatoes. And we need to let people know what type of potato, because you might want to put certain good ones together for one menu and certain other ones together, or you might plant them and forget and just go with what you get.
Yeah.
Both are good.
Yeah.
Both are good.
Maybe a surprise.
Wow, that's great. So this is one of your first projects, is it, between Chilmark School and the Riverbarn?
Yes, because we're Chilmark and Fonthill Bishop School.
Right.
So we've decided very nicely to say, can we help?
Oh, that's great, that's great. Okay, and so you may have more projects in line as well, not just potatoes, but other vegetables that you'll be growing.
Hopefully, if the children behave well and we're allowed to come back again, I think we might get a smile and we can bring more things.
So a bit later, maybe I'll have a talk to some of you and see how you feel about growing vegetables and eating vegetables. Okay, great.
Don't ask this one, he doesn't like vegetables.
Oh, you will like your own vegetables. I guarantee it. If you've grown them, they will be amazing, not like the ones you buy in the shops. So I'm here with some of the children who are busy planting their potatoes, and they're digging holes and putting the potatoes in and hoping they'll grow. So I've got a few children here who like potatoes, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What sort of potatoes do you like then?
Mashed, boiled and roasted.
Whoa.
I like roasted. Mashed with cheese and I can't remember.
Oh yeah, mashed with cheese is really nice, isn't it? It just adds a bit of flavour, doesn't it? What sort do you like? What sort of potatoes do you like?
I don't really like potatoes.
Don't you? I bet. Do you think you will after growing your own ones?
I don't really know.
You don't know. You might. Do you like potatoes?
Yeah, only roasted though.
Only roasted. Yeah. What do you have with roasted potatoes then?
I mean, normally just have it with roast, not really with anything.
Okay. Have you ever grown anything before, like potatoes?
No.
No. So this is your first time growing vegetables, is it? Wow. Do you think it would be a useful thing to know about?
Yeah, probably.
Probably, yeah. I think it's a great thing to do because, just think if the supermarkets were closed for some reason and you had to grow your own stuff, like, people did years ago. Be good. So not only are they planting potatoes, but the children are also planting bulbs all around the edge of the garden. What are they planting? Dave?
So I think we've got some lilies and... Did you pull the plants out? Or you pulled the bulbs out? Did you? That's okay. Let me just find out. I'll tell you now exactly what.
So what have we got here
So
then?
we've got some
As soon as I'm out of the way, you can go there.
Lixia?
some gladiolis,
Yeah.
and some irises, and some freesias.
Oh.
How pretty are they?
Alliums.
Look at those
No,
ones.
lovely.
I know, so it's going to look gorgeous now
So
for the
the
summer.
idea is they'll all be sort of round the edge of your nice garden
Yeah, there's a
area.
little secret garden outside the river barn, which people can come and have a nice cup of tea and a cake
Lovely.
and a sandwich. Come in the summer.
Lovely. Look forward to it.
This is TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
And I'm Martin again, investigating the art display in Tisbury Railway Station.
I'm at Tisbury Station today looking at the wonderful new art exhibition in the waiting room. I'm here with Ros Russell. So how did this all start then?
Well, Ian and Lacey came to me because as part of the Blackmore Vale Community Rail Partnership, they've been tidying up and making the station look a lot prettier. So they put the planters on the station platform and they wanted to do something with the waiting room. So because they saw the art exhibition that I did in the Victoria Hall, they wondered if they might be able to put some art on the walls. We didn't want to put original art, so I kind of came up with the idea of trying to exhibit many artists. So I approached lots of the people that have exhibited at the hall and said, would they be interested in me taking a print or getting a photograph of their work and then creating some posters.
Oh, that's great. Are you going to rotate the posters that you have up there?
I've got 24 artists and there's room for 8 at a time. So I thought to keep the room fresh and interesting, I'll change them out every 2 to 3 months. And the first idea was that it would last about a year. I've got the posters are all paid for by sponsors in the village. So I could actually make this last any number of years actually, because the art is interesting and there's more artists might come along. So yeah, every 2 to 3 months we'll have new people up on the walls.
Oh, that's great. And so who are the sponsors then? I can see various people around the walls.
Yeah, I was wondering how to fund the whole thing. So the Blackmore Vale Community Rail Partnership, try and get that out, they've sponsored the frames themselves.
Oh.
So I thought, because I know, and I work with several of the organisations in the village that work in the arts, that they're desperate to get their name at the station. It's a fantastic place to get their word out. So I asked 4 people, or 4 organisations, the Focus Magazine, the Art Society, obviously the Victoria Hall at Tisbury, and the Chairperson Music Trust, whom people might be less aware of, they're all not-for-profits, if they would pay for the poster printing. And that's come to less than £60 each for the 24 posters in total.
Gosh, that's really reasonable. And so if there's a budding local artist that wants to have their art displayed, how would they go about getting their art here?
They can contact me. I've been telling people about it through Focus, so my link's on there. I'm at Victoria Hall, and I've also got my name on the posters in the station, so that anyone who is interested in contacting the artist or me can just do so.
And they don't necessarily have to be professional artists. Will you encourage children maybe to come, have an exhibition of children's art?
Yeah, no, that would be fantastic. I've got everybody from professional artists. We've got Anthony Connolly, who is actually the president of the National Portrait Society, I think that's right, down to professional people who sell their work, but also people who belong to art clubs, people who just dabble in their home studios. And we've got sculptors, furniture makers, prints, painters.
Fantastic. It's a real testament to what goes on in Tisbury and what fantastic people we have living here. Wonderful, creative people.
Absolutely. No, it's so creative in the area, and there's so much going on. I just wanted to be able to bring that to everybody who passes through the station, make them aware of everything that's going on here.
Fantastic. So it's a bit like Tisbury's art exhibition in a way, isn't it?
It's a permanent art exhibition.
Yeah.
We do what we can in the Victoria Hall, and I know a lot of artists would love somewhere to put work up in the village in a cafe or something, but it's quite hard to find, so the station seemed like a perfect spot.
So as you come into the station, you just take the first left. There's a door on the left. You'll probably see the art if you look in there. And it's a wonderful room. It's all been repainted, and it's got books in here, and it's got this great exhibition. And toilets, very important if you need a toilet. And so if you're coming to get a train somewhere, why don't you just come 10 minutes early and enjoy the art in the station and borrow a book, and you can nip in the toilets.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're listening to TisTalk from Tisbury in Wiltshire and the Nadder Valley.
And now we have the What's Ons with Simon Davison. But just before that, he gives an important appeal on behalf of the Tisbury Carnival Committee.
There's lots going on in Tisbury, as ever, but we start with a worrying message from the Tisbury Carnival Committee's Secretary, Tata Pagliano, who has this to say. With deepest regret, I have to inform you that Tisbury Carnival Committee was dissolved tonight, March the 20th, as there was no chair candidate. Therefore, as it stands, there won't be any carnival this year unless a new group of people will start anew. 5 people, including 3 members of the ex-committee, will be willing to create a working group to save Tisbury Carnival, passing on infrastructure, relationships and contacts which were built over the last few years. There is also a financial balance. Minutes and more information will follow. If there is any interest, please contact Fortunata, that's Tata Pagliano, on Messenger or personally on 07951 385 979 or at fpagliano@hotmail.com. Jasper Bacon, another long-term Carnival Committee member, has added on Facebook, "Come on, Time for someone new to step up. All the people in the room on Thursday evening have done their bit and more. There's a reasonable amount in the pot and plenty of contacts. It's not just the procession on Carnival Day, but the Easter egg hunt, village fete, dog show, discos, films and carnival concert, and contributions to 'Tis the Season at Christmas, all arranged by the Carnival Committee. Now here are the What's On listings. On Tuesday 25th, the Carer Café will be held at Beaton's Tea Rooms from 10:30 to 12 noon. At 7 p.m, the Tisbury Flower Group meet in the Hinton Hall for a flower arranging demo. On Wednesday 26th, the Memory Group will meet from 10 a.m. to 12 noon in the Hinton Hall. And at 12 to 1:30 p.m, there will be a Lent lunch at the Methodist Hall. On Thursday the 27th at 7 for 7:30 p.m, there's an information session about local energy at the Victoria Hall, open to all to find out about a new green energy scheme. On Friday 28th of March, there will be a jazz evening at the New Vic at 7:30 p.m, with Terry Quinney and friends. Tickets are £12 each. On Saturday 29th, Tisbury Gardening Club's Spring Flower Show will open at 2 p.m. at the Victoria Hall. There will be a splendid display of seasonal flowers together with a plant stall, raffle and refreshments. Also on Saturday evening, Dr. Strangelove will be showing as part of National Theatre Live at the Victoria Hall at 7 for 7:30 p.m. Looking ahead, Messham's Art Gallery is offering several pottery and clay workshops for children for free during the Easter holidays. These are intended for young people from 13 upwards and will be held at Messham's studio in Chilmark. The first one will be on the 7th of April, a raku firing workshop, and the second will be over 2 days on the 12th and 13th of April, with Danish ceramic artist Annalie Stock Grimwade, who is currently exhibiting at Messham's Gallery in Tisbury. Sign up by emailing creative@messams.org. Places are limited, so book now. And that's all. Have a great week.
That's all from us this week.
So we've been Mary Myers and Julianne Murphy, with special thanks this week to Anne Martin.
We'd love to hear from you. You can contact us on tistalkradio@gmail.com.
You can listen every week to a new episode of TisTalk, and you can find any episode you've missed at tistalk.buzzsprout.com.
You can also find us on Facebook. Just search for TisTalk, that's all one word. And also look out for us on the Nextdoor app.
And now also on Instagram on TisTalk Radio. So do listen in next week for more stories from Tisbury. Bye-bye.
Bye.